Hi, my name is Dale Lusk, and I'm the children's pastor at People's Covenant Church in San Juan, Texas. And last Sunday, at the Flock That Rocks Online, which is our children's program, I asked the children, where did they learn about God and Jesus the most? Now, their first answer was, church, that's where we learn about Jesus a lot at church, and that's good. And then some of them were like, at camp, when we went to camp, we learned a lot about Jesus there. And then some of them said, well, when we read the Bible, we learn about Jesus too. And then I'm like, is there any other place that you learn about Jesus? And it was quiet for a while. And then Camila said, our parents? I'm like, yes, I'm hoping that your home is a place where you learn a lot about Jesus and God. When I was growing up, my parents, I went to church every Sunday and every Wednesday. We never really had an excuse or any reason. Baseball, wanting to watch the 49er playoff games, even on TV, it didn't matter. You went to church on Sunday, you went to church on Wednesday. And I grew up with my grandma next door. Her name was Nana for me. And I remember every morning when she would take care of me, we always read the Bible and prayed together. I did that every day when I was young with my grandmother. And then every evening, Monday through Friday, as a family, we always read the Bible and we always prayed. My sister, who was 7 years older than me, would run children's programs like backyard Bible clubs, they were called. She always made sure I went so I could learn as much about Jesus from her as possible. When I was a youth pastor in San Francisco, I started when I was 22 years old. And I remember a year after I started, a family called the Goling family, they were upset with me. So they wanted to meet with me, and they wanted to meet with the pastor, Mike Ryan. So we met in Mike Ryan's office, and they said, this young youth pastor, he's not teaching our kids anything about Jesus. Our kids aren't learning about God, they're not learning about Jesus or anything. Yeah, you need to shape him up or make him do something better because our kids aren't learning. And so there was a pause again. And then Mike, the pastor, who was an ex-football player, big guy, said to them, all right, let's figure this out. How often are your kids with Dale learning about Jesus at church? And they said, well, there's Sunday mornings and there's Wednesday nights. And he said, how often do your kids come? Well, we come sometimes. Okay, so you don't consistently come, you just come once in a while. Yeah, okay. So maybe 1 hour a week they're with Dale learning about God. Okay, an hour or less a week, yeah. And then he asked them, how many hours are you with your kids? And they're not sleeping. And so they calculated and we figured out that they were with their kids about 50 hours a week. And so Mike's question was, whose responsibility is it really to teach our kids about God and Jesus? The people who are with them 50 hours a week or the one who's with them 1 hour a week? Who is more responsible? Now I remember them being very quiet, and I don't remember the rest of the meeting because I think they just left. As parents, we have an amazing opportunity to lead our kids to a great relationship with Jesus and with God. It says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5, the Apostle Paul's writing about a young man named Timothy. He says this, Timothy, I remember your genuine faith, for you share the faith that first filled your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice. And I know that same faith continues strong in you. And then later in the same book, in 2 Timothy 3:15, he says, Timothy, you have been taught the Holy Scriptures since childhood, and they have given you wisdom to receive the salvation that comes from trusting in Christ Jesus. It was from childhood, from his grandmother, from his mother, that he learned about faith in Jesus Christ. You know what? Shelter in place is one of the greatest opportunities we as parents have ever had to help our children and our young people in our house to grow strong in their relationship with Jesus. I mean, we don't have a lot of the distractions we normally have, like friends and sports and music and after-school activities and all the schoolwork. There's so much less going on. We have so much time to read the Bible with them, to pray with them, to watch videos about Jesus, about God, about the Bible with them. We have so many opportunities right now to have theological discussions with our own kids in our house. We're in charge of their schedule. So we can even say, hey, Sunday morning at 11:15, the Flock That Rocks is meeting, you're going. You can say that to your own kids. Wednesday night, we have it at 7 o'clock. You can say, you're going. Isn't that amazing? We have a great opportunity right now. In my family, we've started reading the Bible even more than before. We use this book. It's the Jesus Storybook Bible. It's a great Bible for young kids in learning about Jesus. If your kids are even younger, this one, my kids loved this when they were younger, the Read and Share Bible with Jesus. Every day, every morning and every night, we're reading the Bible and praying with our kids. We're watching videos about Jesus, about God, about the Bible while we're at home. We got plenty of time. And we can have theological discussions. Last Sunday, when I was talking to the kids from the Flock That Rocks, I asked them, what are the big questions you have about God, about Jesus? And this is what they asked. How can Jesus be God, and how can God be Jesus at the same time? And how did God create the earth and the whole universe? How is that possible? And what is heaven like? And are we going to get bored being in heaven forever? Don't you eventually get bored? And where does God come from, and when was he born? Wouldn't it be great as parents having discussions about these big, important questions with your kids during shelter in place, because you have this opportunity? We will probably never have this opportunity as parents ever again to have our kids with us for so much time. So let's create families where following Jesus and learning about God and getting involved in our church is the priority, is the habit, is the commitment. Because in a few months, the distractions are going to come back. The friends, the sports, the after-school activities, the schoolwork next year is eventually going to come back. It's going to distract us again. If we don't take advantage right now and solidify our commitments to Jesus as a family, we're just going to go back into same old routine. You know, as parents, our biggest job is to lead our kids, to our children, to a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's our number one job. Did you know that? Because that's the only eternal job we have. Now, giving them shelter, giving them food, that's important. But it's physical and it's temporary. It's supposed to only go on for about 20 years. Or in the valley, 40 years. But anyway, it's supposed to end eventually. But their relationship with Jesus Christ, that's eternal. That's our most important job. Now, grandparents who are watching, guess what? Lois, Timothy's grandmother, was the most important faith person in his life. That's you. You can get online, you can do video calls with your grandchildren, with your great-grandchildren. You can pray with them. You can read the Bible with them online. You can watch videos at the same time with them. You can have theological discussions with them. You can challenge them to go to church. You have this great opportunity during shelter in place to have a significant impact on their relationship with Jesus. So please don't miss this opportunity. This shelter in place is a blessing when it comes to our children's relationship with Jesus Christ. Let's read the Bible and pray and get them involved in church and not miss out on leading them to a really fulfilling relationship with Jesus Christ right now.